Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
God shall rule the man, and the soul shall rule the body, with a sweetness and facility suitable to the felicity of a life which is done with bondage. Please continue watching for the insightful spiritual writings of Saint Augustine of Hippo, vegetarian.
The caring people of Honduras like to show their warm-hearted nature as they greet you with bienvenidos, which means welcome in Spanish. Honorable viewers, I'm Graciela. The citizens of wondrous Honduras thank the heavens for benevolent and righteous fellow beings such as yourselves. May God protect you always. Welcome to the Last Judgment from the City of God by Saint Augustine of Hippo, vegetarian, part 1 of 2, on Words of Wisdom. Saint Augustine of Hippo was an esteemed late 4th and early 5th century Christian bishop in present-day Algeria. He became Bishop of Hippo, an ancient seaport city, in his early 40s and remained in the position for the rest of his life. Known as one of the greatest Christian philosophers, Saint Augustine was a prolific writer with about 100 books, 300 letters, and 500 sermons on a wide range of subjects such as theology, philosophy, and sociology, and has had a lasting influence on the Christian world. Among his most significant writings are The City of God, De Doctrina Cristiana, and Confessions. The respected bishop was also a compassionate vegetarian and drew attention to the lifestyle of those who not only abstain from flesh and wine, but also from other viands which flatter taste. He also quoted St. Paul, "It is better not to eat meat or drink wine, or to do anything else that will cause your brother or sister to fall." Today, we will read from Saint Augustine's The City of God, Book 19, where both the earthly and the heavenly aspects of one's virtues are discussed, as well as what peace and happiness means for those who believe in God. Chapter 25. That where there is no true religion, there are no true virtues. For though the soul may seem to rule the body admirably, and reason the vices, if the soul and reason do not themselves obey God, as God has commanded them to serve Him, they have no proper authority over the body and the vices. For what kind of mistress of the body and the vices can that mind be, which is ignorant of the true God, and which, instead of being subject to His authority, is misused to the corrupting influences of the most vicious demons? It is for this reason that the virtues which it seems to itself to possess, and by which it restrains the body and the vices, that it may obtain and keep what it desires, are rather vices than virtues, so long as there is no reference to God in the matter. For although some suppose that virtues which have a reference only to themselves and are desired only on their own account are yet true and genuine virtues, the fact is that even then they are inflated with pride and are therefore to be reckoned vices rather than virtues. For as that which gives life to the flesh is not derived from flesh, but is above it, so that which gives blessed life to man is not derived from man, but is something above him. And what I say of man is true of every celestial power and virtue whatsoever. Chapter 26. Of the peace which is enjoyed by the people that are alienated from God, and the use made of it by the people of God in the time of its pilgrimage. Wherefore, as the life of the flesh is the soul, so the blessed life of man is God, of whom the sacred writings of the Hebrews say, "Blessed is the people whose God is the Lord." Miserable, therefore, are the people who are alienated from God. Yet even these people have a peace of their own, which is not to be lightly esteemed, though, indeed, they shall not in the end enjoy it, because it makes no good use of it before the end. But it is in our interest that they enjoy this peace meanwhile in this life, for as long as the two cities are commingled, we also enjoy the peace of Babylon. For from Babylon the people of God are so freed that they meanwhile sojourn in their company. And therefore, the apostle also admonished the church to pray for kings and those in authority, assigning as the reason that we may live a quiet and tranquil life in all godliness and love. And the prophet Jeremiah, when predicting the captivity that was to befall the ancient people of God, and giving them the divine command to go obediently to Babylonia, and thus serve their God, counseled them also to pray for Babylonia, saying, "In the peace thereof shall ye have peace, the temporal peace which the good and the wicked together enjoy." Chapter 27. That the peace of those who serve God cannot in this mortal life be apprehended in its perfection. But the peace which is peculiar to ourselves we enjoy now with God by faith, and shall hereafter enjoy eternally with Him by sight. But the peace which we enjoy in this life, whether common to all or peculiar to ourselves, is rather the solace of our misery than the positive enjoyment of felicity. Our very righteousness too, though true in so far as it has respect to the true good, is yet in this life of such a kind that it consists rather in the remission of sins than in the perfecting of virtues. Witness the prayer of the whole city of God in its pilgrim state, for it cries to God by the mouth of all its members, "Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors." And this prayer is efficacious, not for those whose faith is without works and dead, but for those whose faith worketh by love. For a reason, though subjected to God, is yet pressed down by the corruptible body. So long as it is in this mortal condition, it has not perfect authority over vice. And therefore, this prayer is needed by the righteous. For though it exercises authority, the vices do not submit without a struggle. For however well one maintains the conflict, and however thoroughly he has subdued these enemies, there steals in some evil thing, which, if it does not find ready expression in act, slips out by the lips, or insinuates itself into the thought, and therefore his peace is not full so long as he is at war with his vices. For it is a doubtful conflict he wages with those that resist, and his victory over those that are defeated is not secure, but full of anxiety and effort. Amidst these temptations, therefore, of all which it has been summarily said in the divine oracles, is not human life upon earth a temptation? Who but a proud man can presume that he so lives that he has no need to say to God, "Forgive us our debts"? And such a man is not great, but swollen and puffed up with vanity, and is justly resisted by Him who abundantly gives grace to the humble. Whence it is said, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace to the humble. In this, then, consists the righteousness of a man, that he submit himself to God, his body to his soul, and his vices, even when they rebel, to his reason, which either defeats or at least resists them, and also that he begs from God grace to do his duty and the pardon of his sins, and that he render to God thanks for all the blessings he receives. But in that final peace to which all our righteousness has reference, and for the sake of which it is maintained, as our nature shall enjoy a sound immortality and incorruption, and shall have no more vices, and as we shall experience no resistance either from ourselves or from others, it will not be necessary that reason should rule vices which no longer exist, but God shall rule the man, and the soul shall rule the body with a sweetness and facility suitable to the felicity of a life which is done with bondage. And this condition shall there be eternal, and we shall be assured of its eternity. And thus, the peace of this blessedness and the blessedness of this peace shall be the supreme good. Chapter 28. The End of the Wicked. But, on the other hand, they who do not belong to the city of God shall inherit eternal misery, which is also called the second death, because the soul shall then be separated from God, and therefore cannot be said to live, and the body shall be subjected to eternal pains. And consequently, this second death shall be the more severe, because no death shall terminate it, or war, being contrary to peace, as misery to happiness, and life to death, it is not without reason asked, what kind of war can be found at the end of the wicked answering to the peace, which is declared to be the end of the righteous? The person who puts this question has only to observe what it is in a war that is hurtful and destructive, and he shall see that it is nothing else than the mutual opposition and conflict of things. And can he conceive a more grievous and bitter war than that in which the will is so opposed to passion, and passion to the will, that their hostility can never be terminated by the victory of either, and in which the violence of pain so conflicts with the nature of the body, that neither yields to the other? For in this life, when this conflict has arisen, either pain conquers and death expels the feeling of it, or nature conquers and health expels the pain. But in the world to come, the pain continues that it may torment, and the nature endures that it may be sensible of it, and neither ceases to exist. Punishment also should cease. Now, as it is through the last judgment that men pass to these ends, the good to the supreme good, the evil to the supreme evil. Sympathetic viewers, we thank you for your kind presence for today's Words of Wisdom. Please join us again tomorrow for part 2 of this program. Coming up next is Speaking Up to Save Lives, the Honorable Louis Nkok Kwang of Singapore, vegetarian, part 2 of 2, right after noteworthy news. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more constructive programming. May you always have deep faith in your God-treasured selves.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
저희 방송은 다양한 언어를 제공합니다. 다음을 참고하세요. sprainmastertv.com/schedule 그리고 sprainmastertv.com/wow